Hello, and welcome to Goats and Gamebots, the unlicensed and completely uncalled for Survivor podcast. I'm Jack Juice Pickard, winner of Survivor Saints vs. Sinners and rightful heir to the Propes Tribal Council stump. I'm also joined by my co-host, Rochambeau champion, Zach Matson.
Going scissors.
And notable Jason Mraz fan, Andrew Terzigny.
Mr. A to Z.
Today, we continue dragging Andrew through our 40-season Survivor binge. This episode, we're talking about Season 19, Samoa. So if you don't want that spoiled...
Got nothing for you. Grab your stuff, head back to camp.
For those of you still with us, let's get it on. 40 seasons, 3 goofballs, 1 pointless podcast. Hello.
Oh.
Welcome back, everybody.
That's true. I do love Jason Mraz.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I feel like that's one of your defining...
Yeah.
Weezer is number 1 at the list.
Yeah.
Of most defining
Top.
artists that you like. Jason Mraz, pretty close second.
I love me some Mraz. It's Mr. A to Z.
What's that one song he does with that girl?
Colby Calais, Lucky.
Yeah, Colby Calais.
Lucky I'm in love.
Yeah, my best
we can't sing
friend.
too much of it.
We don't want to get copyrighted.
Yeah.
With all the money we're
Absolutely.
making from this.
Yeah, they're coming after
We
this,
don't want Mr.
very
A to Z
small-
to come for us. He
There's
comes
one thing-
hard.
Yeah, you don't want... There are 2 guys in fedoras you don't want coming after you. Wrestle hands, Jason Mraz.
Jason Mraz.
Right?
You piss him off. He's got a chill vibe, but you piss him off, oof,
Yeah.
don't want that.
I do have to say though, we're getting a little more attention these days.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm looking at the stats, and in the last 90 days, we've had 245 people listen to episodes.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got the Goof Troop is growing.
Oh, hey,
It's growing.
wow.
A growing Goof Troop. Yeah, we ran an Instagram promotion.
Yeah. Spent our hard-earned money.
Absolutely. We're taking this shit to the next level. And people are really responding to just pictures of Coach lying emaciated in the water.
We know how to market.
Yeah,
That's for
absolutely. So, for any new Goof Troopers, welcome. Happy to have
Yeah,
you.
welcome aboard.
Hey, goofies.
This is a semi-Survivor podcast. I would say we're not even like a full
I want to say 60%.
60.
Yeah.
That's a good ratio. I'll give us that.
More Survivor than not, but not a whole lot.
That's honestly, those are some bars.
Yo,
That's the new...
turn me up my phone.
Yeah, when we do our season 20 bonanza, retrospective, whatever it is.
Retro-Zananza.
Yeah, we'll take the intro back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's start talking a little bit about Survivor, delivering on the promise of the podcast.
Yeah.
No.
And let's talk just...
I refuse. Weezer time.
Yeah, back to
Go.
Weezer. Independent reading time.
Silent sustained reading. Let's go.
But Samoa is a new location. This is we're breaking new ground.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about Samoa as a location? Pretty? Not pretty?
Rainy.
Real rainy.
Rainy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think it elevates the season not being set in Fiji like a lot of the modern seasons are? No?
I don't know. This reminds me a lot of how I look at tribal councils. Like, it's all the same to me.
Gotcha.
They're on an island sometimes. Like the bone they weren't.
Yeah.
But this season they were.
Very
So-
binary, all about roofs and function over form.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of roofs, we do have a roof at this tribal council.
That is true.
Yeah.
Big old hut.
Big old hut.
But as somebody who likes innovative tribal councils, it's nothing new.
It's nothing
right?
new. Unimpressed.
I will say, I think it's more of a detail season because, like, the hut, in my opinion, is cool. It stands out. It's not a Marquesas hut.
Right, yeah.
It's just
That's
kind of
true.
like, your church camp bonfire hut.
That's true.
This has like it's got mats on the ground. It's like completely floored.
Yeah.
The spacing is nice. Lots
Your
of like
standard for
masks
tribal
and-
councils are
Wait.
mats on the floor.
Yeah, mats on the floor. They've got that Maui weapon thingy. That's just
The
kind of
hook?
The Maui Wowie?
The hook. The Maui Wowie. Yeah.
Wait, so you know what I just realized? And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's this season. Weren't they supposed to have a reward where they eat pizza and watch the tribal?
Yeah.
And we didn't get it right because Russell.
That was the
passed out.
Russell medevac. Yeah.
So what
Good
I'm
Russell.
what I'm what I'm
Good
realizing now is we had an opportunity for a Pizza Hut
Oh my god.
and we didn't get it.
Wow.
The worst part about Good Russell going down.
No
That-
pizza under the hut.
No
Do you think
Pizza
that's
Hut.
maybe like a foiled branding? Like
Yeah, because you
attempt,
know they
like
would have
Pizza
given
Hut.
them Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, you guys enjoy this pizza? No one out pizzas the hut?
Yeah.
No one out pizza's the
Jeff would be like, and the parting words for tribal council. And with that, I leave you. Nobody out pizzas the hut. Go back to camp. Have a good night.
Got nothing for you.
Got nothing. Yeah.
And he just like puts his check from Pizza Hut in his back pocket. Thank you.
Yeah. And then I imagine all these like Pizza Hut execs that are like happy because they're setting this thing up, and then Russell goes out and they're all like,
Damn.
no tribal council. There goes our
worst.
advertising opportunity. Shit. Damn. Yeah, I never thought about that. That is what a missed
hit me.
opportunity.
I know.
It's another reason this season sucks.
Yeah.
No Pizza
Yeah.
Hut.
That's
God.
that
What
was
could have been.
Yeah, and that was the same tribal where both teams came, and Jeff was like, "No one's going home tonight." By the way,
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Where
Yeah.
they just kind of had it out. Eric did his, and we're coming for you.
Yeah.
You coming? Well, you think one of us goes down? We're coming for you now.
Kicking them when
There's-
they're down.
You guys are winning.
more of us, and you only have some people, and we're gonna win because we have more.
At that point, was it already? It had to have been like 8-5.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
8-4. Like they were obliterating the other tribe, and Eric's like, "Let me take this moment to just real rub salt in the wound."
Do you think that's exactly?
You think
that,
a big man?
That was the hubris right there.
Yeah.
That is the moment where Karma decided to be like, you know what?
Let's get Eric out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna take everyone but Brett the Threat out in your tribe until Final Four.
He's
Was-
got that idol in his pocket, and he's just like riding the high of it.
You
Absolutely.
hate to see it
Was
unless
Eric
you hate
the
Eric.
undoing
Honestly,
of that
yeah.
tribe?
For sure.
Well, I don't want to pin all of Galoo's
I would.
misfortunes on Eric because a lot of Galoo sucks. It's
That's
like
true.
I
They
take
have-
issue with a
yeah.
lot of the elitist attitude they got going on over there.
They sucked.
They had Dave and Brett. They're two redeeming qualities.
Yeah, and Shambo.
Never forget.
But even
Shambo,
then,
to an extent.
Shambo's got an arc.
They had Ben.
They had Ben. No.
Oh, was Ben on the other
Ben
tribe?
was Foa.
I don't care where Ben
That's-
was. Ben sucked.
Now here's the thing. I will pin
Regardless.
most of the Foa troubles on. Well, I guess they got Russell Hands.
Yeah, they have Hat Guy for sure.
But they also have Ben, and they keep
Yeah.
Ben around for like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Much
which
longer
is
than he needed to be.
inexcusable.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh boy.
We're already talking about real Survivor though.
Right.
Let's
Yes.
dial it back and again talk about more of the stuff that doesn't matter. This is the intro section. We can have fun with it. We got yellow and purple buffs color scheme, and
Vikings
they go
colors.
to blue at the merge. And the tribe names are Galoo and Foa. How do we feel about the general tribes colors?
What,
That
you
kind
got
of stuff?
fun nicknames for these ones?
Yeah.
Andrew?
Glue was, I think, just glue.
You just
And
real stretch that one.
yeah, and Foa, I think we're the Foa fighters, as in the Foo Fighters.
the Foa fighters.
Foa
Yeah.
fighters.
Yeah. We
They
talked
were
about
fighting.
they were
They were
fighting.
fighting.
Yeah. Burning socks and shit.
Dumping water. Dumping Wawa. Burning Sakis. Yeah, you love to see
This
it.
is, you know, all those new
Where's
listeners
your
we have.
What?
They stopped.
They're
Any
gone.
new listener we have
Did he
has
say-
stopped.
I was gonna say,
Sakis.
where's your fun little nickname for fake Katrina stories?
Oh, yeah.
Burning sakis and telling fibbies about
Telling
Hurricane
fibbies.
Katrina.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, right. Terrible. And also, Andrew, any weird fears? Anything
Yeah,
pop
so
out at
many.
you?
We've
In
established
no,
this.
About this
of
season
Survivor.
in general. Yeah,
Yeah, we understand you are afraid
Yeah,
of many things.
that's a given.
I mean, probably. We'll get there.
Well, yeah, let's let it come up organically.
Yeah.
I will say, more than a fear, we discovered a weird passion of yours, which was whales.
Oh.
For some reason, I love whales.
This is what did it?
Yeah,
This season?
I have no idea where.
I don't know where it came. One day I was just like, whales are cool.
Yeah, he loves them. He's been watching all kinds of
All
like
kinds of whale
docuseries
docs.
and yeah.
I like watching them swim.
And see, this
They're
is
so big.
this is
thick blue line. Blue whales.
yeah.
Blue whales.
And this is a weird one because you like something, and I'm afraid of it.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
I think whales are
Whales are
freaking-
terrifying.
I'm
Okay. Like
I-
orcas are all whales.
I
All whales.
Wow.
I have a respect for whales, but if I'm on a boat and this giant shadow moves underneath me, I'm gonna be freaking the fuck out. You know?
Yeah, I get
I
that. No, get me wrong. They're terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
terrifying. But
mean-
have you seen them swim?
Yeah.
It's majestic.
Unfortunately.
Okay, it's
Yeah. No, I hear that actually because I have a weird fear of open water. I'm hoping I never find myself in this situation, but I often Feel very anxious anytime I think about myself in the middle of the ocean with no one around to help me.
And things under you, right?
Big fucking things. And listen, just because blue whales don't necessarily attack humans, who's to say that I'm not the exception in that case?
Yeah, I agree with
Scary.
you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You guys
never
are getting
know.
it.
See?
You're getting it.
Well, I actually have, we can do a word of the day segment here. I actually know what this fear is called. It's megalahydrothalassophobia.
Bars.
It's fear of
Nerd.
large things in the water under you. So
Whoa.
even like sunken ships and submarines, and like if that makes you
Can you say that word again?
megalahydrothalassophobia.
That's
say
a
it
beautiful
backwards?
word.
No, I can't.
Just
fear
reverse
of
the clip
big
when you
water
did.
thing. Yeah. So yeah, word of the day there, I guess.
Wow.
But I have that for sure.
Lots
I'm
of
afraid
syllables.
of.
Yeah, I get
big
that.
Are you
things.
afraid of boats under the water?
Like the Titanic?
I think it'd be cool to explore like a sunken pirate
so
ship.
cool.
But I'd also be afraid of like around any corner there could be like a shark or something.
Or an octopus.
Scary
Oh.
eels.
Don't get him started on octopuses.
Scary little poison eels hiding in crevices.
Crevice
That's where they
eels.
go.
Yeah,
They like the dark, cold areas.
yeah, absolutely. Like that unnerves me a bit.
Yeah.
And unlike your fears that we can never tie them back to something, I watched Walking with Dinosaurs as a kid, and there was a Leviathan in it that was obviously a puppet because like CGI wasn't shit back then, but it scared the fuck out of me, and I have never been okay with the idea of like whales or big
never liked
water
them.
things. Yeah, no. It's funny, when I have a weird fear, we got to talk about it because we always talk about yours, and I want you to feel normal.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Again, whales are terrifying. They're scary.
But cool to
Just
scary.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. The cool outweighs the scary. Whereas on birds, the
tips in
scary
the scary.
outweighs the cool.
Yeah.
Because birds suck.
It's a ratio.
Yeah.
And see, I'm flip-flop. I think birds are cooler than they are scary.
Don't know how, but we're getting sidetracked.
That's a conversation for another time.
Also, sperm whales. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just found out about
With
those.
their giant foreheads.
Little cummy whales. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That's somewhere where I'm in the middle. If this is a real, a tribal has roofs in the background but no roof over their heads.
Yeah.
Where I don't necessarily like whales a lot, but I think it's funny that there's one called a sperm whale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really in the middle here.
On the
that one.
ratio of scary to cool, it's in the middle and just sus.
Yeah,
a
I
bit
think there's a good
sus.
balance here. If Andrew thinks whales are cool, you don't necessarily
Yeah.
enjoy the presence of them around you, and I'm kind of on the fence.
Yeah. I would love to whale watch,
Yeah.
I think. Because that sounds cool.
Like-
But the second that the whale goes under the boat and I can't see him, eyes where I can see you, big man.
I'm thinking
Hands on the
Godzilla
table.
vs Kong. Right now, I'm thinking about
Versus
that
whale?
moment when Zilla comes up out of
Yeah.
the ocean. That could be a
Terrifying.
whale. A whale could do that.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
A
Luckily,
whale,
we always got a big monkey on board.
He'll protect us.
a whale could always snap. At any time, it could just decide, I'm done with this, and like eat your boat whole.
Yeah, and
That's
they're
a
not too different
scary-
from sharks. Sharks are scary.
Yeah.
So
Just bigger.
You tell me you trust sharks? I don't believe you.
All right.
Survivor.
So, yeah, I think that's it for our intro section. We're going to take a real quick break. We're going to come back with our Outwit section, start talking about some of the characters and some of the duds from this season. Because I'm sure we've got
The
some to talk
predominantly
about.
duds.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. This season of Survivor is brought to you once again by nicknames. Whether it's real nicknames from the show, like Rattly or Shambo, or ones we came up with, like Dr. Mickhead, pardon me, Brett the Threat, that hat guy.
That guy.
Welcome back, nicknames. We're glad to have you.
That hat guy.
Yeah.
Who is that talking about? Does anyone in this season wear a hat that looks silly on them? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason
no, he
Mraz.
does.
Jason
It looks
Mraz.
ridiculous. That's
Also-
Jason Mraz's hat.
Totally forgot to mention in the intro, Danger Dave,
Danger Dave.
which
Yeah,
I
Danger
think is
Dave.
probably the best nickname this
Love
season.
Danger Day.
Yeah, and one of the best characters.
I don't know. I like Hat Guy.
You like that guy?
Brett the Threat.
Brett the Threat. I love. I
Doc-
would get a Brett the Threat T-shirt.
See, I messed it up, but I think Dr. Mickhead is hilarious.
Dr. Mick.
Is
don't
that
know
a
why,
reference
but-
to Scrubs?
Scrubs, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dr. Mick. He.
Very
First of all,
nice.
his name's Mick.
Yeah.
And he's
Second
a
of all, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was right there.
It's
Not really a dickhead, but
No, he was a fine
he was
guy.
a fine guy. We
just a little milk toast.
Yeah.
I will say, I think this season is filled with a lot of insufferable people. Mm-hmm. And the people that are good people aren't characters. They're just good people, so they get overshadowed by the Danger Daves and the,
Yeah.
And Danger Dave is one of the only, like, good characters, I would say. The rest of them all have their, like, Shambo arcs.
Yeah.
Where it's like you start out fun, and then you end up pretty insufferable by the time you got to go home. So, sorry, Shambo doesn't deserve that. But towards the end...
She's kind of annoying towards the end.
Yeah.
But again, you're out there for 30-something days.
Mm-hmm.
Of
You're
course
starving.
You're gonna,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Shambo, but I would argue that she has some level of annoyance throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
Just sometimes more than others.
I understand why she rubs some people the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about this. I think it's very, like, once you get a Shambo 2 day 30 around there, like, they're a perfect person to take to the end if you can stand being around them for the next, like, 7 or however many days are left. Just because it starts getting more and more appealing as the safe vote to just get this person out of here because they make camp life more chaotic or whatever. So, yeah, I can understand why she went around the time that she did. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we also had fucking Ben this season.
Ben, I wrote in every episode that Ben is in, including the reunion and the finale, because they show a clip of him.
Yeah.
I wrote Ben sucks in every single one of them.
Anytime he crops up.
Unprecedented.
He does suck.
To hate someone that much.
Oh my God.
He's just trashy.
Yeah.
And a racist.
Yeah.
Well,
And
microaggressions like crazy.
yeah, the outlaw baby. Like, that shit is so fucking, like, to try and be cutesy with it. Go fuck yourself, man.
Yeah. And no shade to, like, Missouri or anything. He's from there, but he definitely represents that kind of breed of sort of just, like, kind of low, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that
he's ignorant.
Very, like Winter's Bone type of Missourian. You know what I'm saying? Just not someone I want to hang out with. Someone who's just constantly rubbing people the wrong way and thinks that it's funny.
And thinks that it's there. He's like, I'll give back whatever energy you're giving me. But, like, dude, you're instigating shit all the time. And, like, that's the other thing. That's part of the reason why Russell Hantz starts to become, like, a little bit gross. I mean, aside from burning socks day one and telling fake Katrina stories.
Jumping wild.
Like, the fact that he's like, yes, it makes sense to keep Ben around because he's always going to be taking all the flack.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, when you start saying racist shit and you start, like, clearly dragging the morale of your team down, like, you got to part ways with that person because...
not worth having around.
Yeah, absolutely not. Especially when one of your biggest allies is Jason, and like he is clearly made uncomfortable by the comments of Ben. So
that was a great moment too when Ben could not figure out how Jason was saying, like, you're ignorant, dude. Like, the things you're saying are not okay to say, and Ben's just like, what are you? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I wanted to do a fan fiction for this episode where Jason, like, strangles Ben in that tribal council, where it, like, almost comes to, like, fighting, and Natalie's just, like, in between them, like,
she's like, his inner monologue.
Yeah. So
Ben guy.
I think it's safe to say Ben is Sia's biggest stinker, right?
Yeah, he got booted from a challenge. Yeah. This guy sucks.
All right. Yeah, outlaw baby. Yeah, awful. So Sia's biggest stinker, I'm sure he'll crop up again if we do a bracket of stinkers. And that's saying something, to be the biggest stinker in a season.
So many stinkers.
There's a couple other big stinkers this season.
Yeah.
So it says a lot,
including one that arguably should have won.
Yeah. The biggest, if it were, instead of Soul Survivor, it were the biggest stinker, Russell would for sure win.
Hands down.
Hands down.
Survivor. Biggest stinky.
Soul stinker.
Soul stinky.
Stinkiest Survivor.
Survivor stinky boy.
Yeah, no, definitely. How do we, I feel like this is probably we'll talk about it more in the end, but I feel like a big contributing factor to why Russell Hantz does not win this season is a fairly salty jury.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Is that fair?
Yes, totally.
And I feel like it also ties it, because it was all Galoo, aside from Jason. I feel like it ties into a lot of... I just want to know, what's the problem with Galoo? Why do they suck so much?
I think we said earlier, they're just egotistical maniacs.
Yeah.
They were just like, we're the best ever. Nothing can defeat us. So when they started to lose after the merge, they were like, this is impossible.
Yep.
And there's no way I could ever see myself voting for somebody who got us, the best, out.
Yeah.
And that's I think Eric is a very good representation of that sort of, especially in that tribal where Russell went home and he's talking shit to them while they're down it's 8-4.
Yeah.
You can't get a big head, my friend, because I'm looking at the list right now. The first 4 people to go, Foa, then a Galoo, then a Foa, and then the next Galoo to go is Russell, who wasn't even getting voted out. They didn't lose. They very well could have won that challenge. Didn't look like they were going to. But yeah, so as soon as you come into an independent game, you have people like Eric, and you can even maybe put John in this category, who think like, we're running the show, whatever we want to do is going to happen. And Eric's like, this is a perfect opportunity to take out like Monica, someone on our tribe.
Yeah.
When it could have easily just been like, take out Foa, and then worry about your own numbers after that. But it was like a domino effect. One went down, and then the rest kept falling. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight Galoo members.
Yeah. And
Brett the Threat, the only one left.
After the amount of shit that they talked, like that is it's beautiful. And I love to see it.
I loved too that their ultimate downfall was Eric flipping on that one vote, and then entrusting Russell.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful to see. And I got sick of the Galoo strong shtick, because there are times that makes sense to preach to try and keep everybody on board, but Galoo was never strong. When they were winning challenges, they hated each other's guts. There was always Shambo and Laura going after each other. The fact that they all turned on Eric so quickly at the merge, I think proves that they were looking for a reason to get rid of Eric, right? Because I think that his whole attitude, the rubbing it in people's faces, when good Russell, was your leader before, that's going to really rub you the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
And so, there's always been that internal fighting politics, and then the second it gets blown open, you got to scramble. But there was still this fake illusion of, let's stay Galoo strong. It's you've never been strong.
Yeah, the only reason they were really winning in the beginning was because they didn't have somebody actively sabotaging their own tribe.
Yeah, because the other man, they had a man on the inside of the other tribe, Russell Hands, just burning socks and keeping Ben around. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, this brings me to a very fun trivia fact I found that I was going to save till later, but it's perfect right here.
Perfect time.
This is the first time that a Yulonging happened to one tribe and a Pagonging happened to another.
Ooh. Interesting.
Right? Foa
combining
fucking
them.
got Yulonged, right? They just lost. And they come into the merge down numbers, but still take out the entire other tribe.
Yeah.
Foa final 3.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That's such an interesting...
And, say what you want about this season, but it is extremely unique in at least that circumstance.
Yeah, and just when you think about, too, the ways that they accomplish that, when you're thinking about, token chains, season before this, it's you come in with 4, right? They had 4 on 5, which is barely down.
Very
and
close.
You can flip that real easy. This one was they blew an 8-4 lead. and they did it through everything, right? They flipped on the first guy. They idled the second person. Shambo was flipped, and they always wanted Laura out, so they used that to their advantage, and all of a sudden you've got numbers. That's... The post-merge gameplay of this season is really, really good. And you can't take it away from that.
And would they have gotten it done without Russell? Probably not, right? Because if no one else was making friends with Shambo, that was Russell.
Yeah.
He found the right cracks and took advantage of it. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not just playing an idle-based game. The social gameplay was there. There was a lot of good stuff this season. There's just, unfortunately, a lot of, active negatives.
Yeah.
The pre-merge this season was just so slow. That you are watching a new longing, in my opinion, is never fun to watch because it's just incredibly one-sided. It doesn't even matter if Tom Westman's on the other side of it. It's not that appealing just because it's boring. Yeah, it's boring television. But
exactly.
And no tribe swaps or anything this season, right? It was just straight
just-
Foa
Yeah.
Foa and Galoo.
But
Hung
this,
out the whole time.
another fun fact is this is the first season, I think, ever where the merge happened with more than 10 players.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like 8 and 4, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Big
Yeah.
fat. Yeah. And then we had the 13-person tribal council
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah, that
the
was
Russell
weird.
thing happening. Yeah. A lot of firsts in this this season.
Yeah, and I mean, first to like find an idol without a clue,
Mhm.
like a lot of innovative stuff here. And there's just also again so many stinkers,
So many stinkers.
so many stinky moments.
Some of the firsts are just like gross, where you're like, oh,
Yeah, first person to
Ben
get kicked
getting
out of the
kicked,
challenge.
Yeah, you're like, that's a first, but at what cost?
Or like
Yeah.
first since that Thailand challenge that we were talking about with Sukjai, the where
Oh, and yeah.
what's his name?
Scottsdale
Rob was
Chokes
choking
Clay.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Calls him a
despicable behavior.
Backwards hick. Yep.
And anytime you're like, oh, first time since the worst season of Survivor,
Not
like
great.
that's never a good
No,
optic.
certainly not.
So
Also, something I told Andrew this and that I learned. Apparently, this season was only supposed to have 18 castaways. So that's how they promoted it on the Token
Oh.
Chains reunion. But there's 20.
interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why the change.
And that's what I want to know. It doesn't say, but I'm very curious. Maybe I want to know if Russell was,
One of the two.
or yeah, like a late addition.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of crazy.
That would be.
Also, you guys remember that one challenge Jeff just wasn't at?
The bocce ball.
Bocce ball, yeah. Where
Yeah.
Danger Dave.
I
threw it.
would love to know why. Where was Jeff?
He was
What
getting
was
a
he
massage.
doing? What was more important?
Yeah.
He was eating some real fancy food, getting a massage.
Yeah, that was a really weird moment because they're not sure what they're just standing on opposite sides for
They
a while.
stare at each other for a little
And
bit.
then they make like a mad dash for the chickens.
Yeah. They're like, oh, we gotta take the chicken.
And then they're like, oh wait, it's just a challenge.
Somebody
Calm down.
like
What are
has
these
the
balls for?
chicken out,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Go put the chicken back. Put the chicken back. We gotta play for
Probably
it."
Shambo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, just an unhinged season.
Yeah, just
Unhinged
so many
season.
weird moments like that. Absolutely, and I think it is just you've got so many characters like Russell Hantz and just bringing weird karma to the season,
Mm-hmm.
really
Eric.
fucking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of weird stuff going on. But
So weird.
do we have for the outwit section? Do we have like a top 3 of some kind?
Yes, I love that this is the outwit section too, 'cause this is just stupid top 3. But
Yeah.
there's a guy in this season who made us cringe more than others, and I thought it would be only fair to give him the top 3. So I want to do our top 3 eye-rolling Eric moments
Absolutely.
from our cringy king.
Yeah. So we did talk about Ben being the biggest stinker, but if Ben wasn't in this season,
Mhm.
is it Eric? Is Eric the runner-up?
Eric's got a little bit of an edge on Russell, yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's not that Eric's like even a bad guy. He's just very condescending and
cringy.
entitled and cringy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Do not
wanted to be
like
like
him.
the center of attention too, even when he was booted from the game.
Yeah. Always on the every time at Tribal.
Yeah,
Just
I
the
was-
most expressive man.
I was going to say, I think my eye-rolling moment, it's not even a moment, it's like a period of time,
Mm-hmm.
is, again, first relegated to the jury, and then is the loudest juror of all time. He's fucking clapping, he's pointing, he's standing up, he's like fist pounding. Like, just calm down, my guy.
So
Like,
big with his expressions.
yeah, and is just like insufferable the whole time. It's not about you. And
Yeah, it looked like he was putting on a performance.
Yeah,
Like he was in
for
a
sure.
one-man show.
Yeah. And all of that leading to one of the cringiest speeches, in
Yeah.
my opinion, of you played the game the wrong way, but you're over there, I'm over here. What happened? Like, yeah, like, calm down, my guy. Like, just to make it all about you, to
Right.
be so self-righteous, and all of that is just...
Yeah.
ugh.
His final Tribal, it definitely feels like he practiced that in the mirror for like 10 hours.
He had nothing but time.
Yeah.
Ponderosa suite.
Yeah,
just
he started
chilling.
that speech night one,
Mm-hmm.
and then never deviated from the salt that he felt that
Yeah.
first night.
Right.
But just doing way too much. And that's even coming from, like, I feel I'm not a purist in the way of, like, the jury members have to be completely emotionless.
Yeah.
I like a little bit of jury
course.
emotion, some eye rolling, some, but he's doing way too much.
Yeah, he's
when
doing
you're
the most.
Yeah, when you're standing up, you're pointing, your fist pumping. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah, calm down, guy.
And you could just sense everyone rolling their eyes around him, just no, because no one really liked him that much. I mean, people didn't have too hard of an issue
like
voting
that.
him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and given he was asking for it because he wanted to take out one of his own anyways. But like when people were like, Eric wants to take us out, let's get this fucking asshole out of here. Like, we don't want him around anymore. Fuck that guy.
The immediate backlash.
And then
fuck that dude.
This isn't my moment, but this could very well be yours or someone. But this is his being voted out at Tribal. Just the way he was acting. Like he was just like, I'm running this show. Like I got to idle my pie. Like you could just tell he was so confident and cocky.
Yeah.
And then he gets voted out, which is just so amazing.
I have a quote from him. This is probably my moment. Why not? I don't really have any better one. He says, I don't give a fuck if Shambo votes for Probst tonight.
Yeah.
And then gets voted out.
Yeah.
Hubris.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Big
great.
time. Yeah. My moment, we already talked about it though, and it's on replay in my head all the time. But it's at that 13-person tribal where they're talking about the Russell, and he just decides to get very self-righteous and like tell the other tribe like, oh, we're coming for you. Like we aren't gonna back down. And it's so cringy to me because he's sort of speaking like an underdog when it's so clear they have the numbers.
Yeah.
And then to see them get their asses handed to them at the merge, it's just poetic justice. He
Sets it up beautifully. Yeah.
Chefs.
And I think my official moment is the jury speech, since nobody
Yeah.
mentioned it. But I hate too to think of, I how much it could have influenced the narrative of this season. Like, tribal council is a finicky thing. So any one speech or you get the idea that most of Galoo was looking for a reason not to vote for Russell Hands. But I just hate that Eric stands up on this soapbox.
Yeah.
Like, first jury member out, not qualified to speak on this game at all.
Yeah.
and still brimming with...
Gives this gorgeous, Natalie's so pure and perfect. She played this game flawlessly.
Maybe the person who would be ridiculed the most deserves to win. Or whatever the fuck he says. Like,
He I could totally see him bowing after that. Be like, thank you. And now I will be performing a monologue from Hamlet.
he just gets up and he simps. And
bro.
Yeah.
And you're right. There were so many
doesn't
people
want you.
on that jury that were just like anything to not vote for Russell.
Yeah.
And it's gross that might have been it.
Yeah, like the final tipping point or whatever. Like, yeah.
Stupid as fuck.
And I get the vibe that, again, that's maybe how they felt before. But I just have issues with Galoo's attitude, I think, more than anything. And we get a lot more Russell Hantz, and this is just the first installment. But I think this was Russell Hantz's season to lose.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
And he did.
Says a lot about Russell and a lot about the jury that he doesn't win. There could be a whole different jury that votes for him to win, or there could have been a whole different Russell that this jury voted to win for, but just the stars didn't line up, man.
And I don't think it's a spoiler to say this, but this is the cleanest game I think he plays. That's with the lies about Katrina, the burning the
Yeah,
songs,
I
all
was
that.
gonna say.
Like, it's still not clean, but
I can only imagine.
It's the cleanest.
Yeah.
It's the one that objectively he should have won the most.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah.
I would argue the season of Survivor Australia he plays is very clean because he is there for 2 days.
Yeah, doesn't have time to
Spoilers.
do any bad shit. Yeah, for when we move on to Aussie Survivor after this.
the next chapter of Goats and Game
Oh,
Bots.
he plays Australian Survivor?
He
Yeah.
does, yeah.
And his whole thing is like, they respect the game more than the American players. So I'm playing with actual, real survivors. And then he gets the first one out.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, we have to give it to Russell.
Yeah.
He did this 2 different times where people just didn't take him out, and then he fucking went deep.
Yeah.
So
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that happened.
The funniest,
That's great.
I feel like, we've got the trilogy in American Survivor, and then that's the funny offshoot.
Yeah. Like the straight to DVD.
Yeah, no, it
movie
reminds
they
me.
made.
It's like when the guy shows up in Spy Kids 3D, another Spy Kids reference.
Always.
You're like, oh, Elijah Wood's in this. And then
And
he
then
like
he's
dies
dead.
immediately.
Oh.
Yeah. Look, I'm the best to ever play this game.
The chosen one.
Yeah, boot one. Okay. All right.
What a great movie.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
Great
why it keeps
franchise
coming
of
back up.
films.
Is it's evergreen in terms of the content it's providing for society in general.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. All right. We're going to end the outwit section there, and we're going to come back, talk about the outplay section, some of the other more idle stuff that's been happening this season, the challenges, and whether or not God exists. Stay tuned. This season of Survivor is brought to you by Sierra's mom. You kind of suck, but your daughter's real cool. Welcome back. That's a reference that you won't understand for a while,
Yeah,
Andrew.
Just hanging out.
12 seasons.
But Laura returns in a Blood vs. Water season with her daughter Sierra, who
and
is
Sierra rules.
10 times cooler than Laura.
Well, Laura sucks.
Yeah.
So
Sucks.
Yeah. We
She
didn't-
does win 2 immunities.
Yeah, no, she's definitely. Here's what I'll say. Laura is a great Survivor player.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any refuting that.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's good at challenges. I think socially she, is able to work around. She rubs me a bit the wrong way. She's got that Karen energy that we talked about, and she's Debbie, like, 2.0. We don't talk about anybody besides Parvati being 2.0, but she's like, I guess it's maybe the real one is Amy all the way back in the day. She's an Amy 3.0. But Laura.
Yeah. I was trying to think of who Amy is, but then I remembered
Andrew's
it's
Amy.
Andrew's greatest adversary.
Yeah.
I chose to not even speak of her.
I was going to say,
I mean, it's the Aster Ice Queen's
Growth.
favorite Survivor, which that says a lot to me. That probably the biggest fan of our show loves someone that Andrew hates.
yeah.
The worst.
And they still decide to listen to us. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. For your continued,
We shit on her
albeit,
constantly.
yeah, thank you for your misplaced support. But yeah, and I think any other season we'd maybe talk about Laura more than this one, just because the show is stolen by even stinkier people, like the
smelly.
Erics and the Russells shine through. Evil Russell, not good Russell. That's the other thing. Good Russell's in this season. He's like a bright spot. Jason's a bright spot. But there's just so much darkness
Yeah.
that the bright spots have a hard time shining through.
All
right.
Dave, though. Don't forget about Danger Dave.
Yeah, Danger Dave.
I love how Danger Dave calls Russell Chief all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. What's going on, Chief?
Dave's cool. I want to get a beer with Dave.
I did reach out to Dave.
Did
to
you?
try and get him on the podcast, yeah, but no response. It was a private account, so I'm not sure he even
so.
saw it. But he's right in that zone of like people who are cool, people that are
Also
obscure enough
weird.
that would do it, and also that we would want on
Yeah.
our podcast. Like we
Yeah.
don't want Russell Hance on our podcast,
Not, yeah.
We want the Billy Garcias of the world.
Absolutely.
Billy.
You know? That's our
Yeah.
guy.
So if there are any more seasons with a Danger Dave-esque person, I would love to get him on. Or just Danger Dave. If you're Danger Dave and you're listening,
Oh,
hit us up. It doesn't matter when.
And don't forget, our close personal friend Boston Rob, he just let me know he will be back for
for Heroes vs. Villains.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's gonna stop by.
It's been a while.
I know.
knew he would.
He made a promise to us, a commitment that he
Friend
would
of the
always come
pod.
by on a season,
Yeah.
friend of the show. But other than Boston Rob, though, we want like a Randy.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
want a Dave.
Mhm.
Brett the Threat.
Yeah, and I get the
Brett
vibe,
the Threat. Oh.
Boston Rob seems weirder with us than he does on screen. I don't
Yeah.
know what we bring something out of him.
This is more casual Boston
just-
Rob.
yeah.
Yeah, his accent is a lot more finicky. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
He just knows we're such big fans.
It's weird.
He
I'm
can't
never
contain himself.
never here when he's here, but it seems like you guys.
Yeah,
get along
yeah.
You'll
It's pretty
definitely.
cool. Yeah, maybe
I will
this
be here
time.
We
next
know
time.
he's coming. This
Yeah.
time.
There's nothing that's going to
There's
take me out
nothing
of the
that's
studio
gonna
this
stop
time.
you.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
No,
Yeah.
you guys have my word on that one.
Alrighty.
All right. So in the outplay section, got a good deal to talk about, and this is one of the weirder things. Do you guys remember, like, when you want a challenge, you got to send a spy to the other camp?
Oh yeah.
Which, like, I don't think about that
Because that's where Ben's racism came out.
Yes, absolutely. Yasmin.
It
Yeah.
magnified the racism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you also get Laura coming over. You get like a lot of the cross-tribal stuff. I think
Shambo did it.
Shambo,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the reason why Shambo flipped.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah,
you feel
yeah.
more comfortable on one tribe than the other tribe.
Yeah, it was Russell too, right? Russell Swan was like, sorry, Shambo, and so she missed out on a reward.
Yeah.
to go
Because
do spy
he was
shit.
punishing her for something.
For
the chicken.
The chicken
The
incident.
chicken.
Yeah, letting the chickens loose.
Yeah.
One-
There's always one.
Good
Karma.
Russell's one bad move.
I mean, let's not get this wrong. Good Russell's not the best. In comparison to other
Superman.
contestants this season, he's pretty good, but yeah, he's kind of a dick sometimes.
But in this season,
Yeah.
especially when
Well, he's
his
a little bit of a
other
martyr,
namesake
too.
is
Evil Russell.
Evil Russell.
Right?
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back to that moment where he's just like making the fire and complaining about everyone.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Just a bit of a martyr.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
You
But
don't
still-
have to do it all yourself. in
Yeah,
this
exactly. I mean, you see what happens when you try to do it all yourself.
game. Yeah.
You scare Jeff Probst.
Yeah.
And we
your
are
wife.
not cool with that.
Yeah, you do not try to get on Jeff's bad side like that, okay?
But that also brings up the other facet, which is the leader of the tribe kind of twist.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Which
Yeah.
did nothing.
Especially for Foa, who Mick's just like, I'm not in charge of this.
Mick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
in one of his sit-downs, was like, I'm a figurehead.
Yeah.
I know that.
I think it's crazy that somebody like Mick could stay around for so long without people being like, maybe he's not leading our tribe that well. You know what I mean? Or maybe we make somebody else the leader. Because they were not winning. And that was, I think, Eric's biggest issue with him, was like...
If
Sorry, go
you're
ahead.
ever wondering, I present to you England.
England.
This leader's not working. Maybe we should replace them. They don't. Figurehead governments.
Well,
Learn from the Brits.
so let me get this straight. You're comparing Dr. Mickhead
To the Queen of
to the
England.
Queen of England.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure we were on the
Uh-huh.
same wavelength.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Lizzie and Mick.
We did have some interesting challenges this season. We had the baseball challenge, where Danger Dave says making love is his sport. We had basket football, the one where Ben got kicked out of for being too rough.
Yep.
Basque football?
Basket football. Yeah.
We had that big pirate ship.
Big pirate ship.
Yeah. What do you mean, big pirate ship?
I wish I could
can't
tell
think
you
of it.
more. All I wrote down
as a
was
reward.
big pirate ship.
As a reward.
Oh, was
they
it?
went-
Yeah.
So you don't even know what you're referencing. Just like-
You just put it out there hoping we would know.
Yeah,
and remember that iconic moment with Big Pirate Ship?
Because I do.
Because I definitely do.
remember that.
As soon as you realized we didn't remember, you were like, fuck.
oh no.
Oh no. I'm going to have to explain this. Yeah, no, it was a reward. They went on a pirate ship and they ate like a feast.
Oh yeah, they did. I
Yeah,
remember
Shambo.
it.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was a
Just
great,
hoping to remember.
an iconic moment from this season.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And we also had the Survivor auction this season.
Action.
Yeah.
Where Jason goes all in on an advantage. Great move.
Yeah.
Well played.
And then wins the immunity.
Well played.
And then fucking Mickhead goes all in on some burgers, fries, and a beer the next round, like the next item up.
He dropped 500 on that?
Yeah, he dropped
Yeah.
all of his money on it.
I'm
Another
a doctor, and I know that this would help me.
Yeah, another not a leader move to let Jason take the fall and to be like, "Oh, burger and fries, yes, please."
I'll take a beer.
Yeah, to go all in on it. Crazy.
What kind of beer do you think they give them in those challenges? Is it like...
It's light. It's always a light.
You think they're giving them a light? Hooking them up with like a course?
See, I would think they would try to get them drunk. I would think anything that
Giving
you're
them a
given has
double
a high
IPA.
alcohol content. It's like Four Loko in a glass.
It's original for logo.
Yeah.
I hear when you get halfway through a four local, you start to believe you're the fifth loco.
Yeah. And then it's just darkness.
And then it's darkness.
Yeah. But I would think, I mean, maybe that's just me, and maybe production's not always going for the gotcha, but I would always assume the beer that they have has high alcohol content because drunk people are...
I would love to think so, but...
Yeah.
My hope is that it's either
beer.
a Miller High Life or it's some sort of local craft beer.
I think it's like a local light beer.
Yeah, local, with hella alcohol in
It's
it.
toilet wine.
It's toilet wine. He sips the beer.
Oh, God.
I just paid $500 for this shit.
Yeah.
I would love...
That would be funny. One of the covered items, and Jeff pulls it off, and he's like, wine that I made in my toilet at Ponderosa.
This is very warm.
Absolutely.
Is that a Mountain Dew bottle?
Don't worry, it's wine inside.
It's also in that Shambo pays like $300 for sea slugs or something.
And
Which
she's
like
hyped to
yeah,
eat
and
'em.
she eats them, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff, this is better than the stuff they gave me in the Marines. Am I right? I was in the Marines. Jeff.
Nah, I love you, Jeff.
Yeah. And then Fincher decides to
Mr.
keep
Parvati?
a piece of Mr. Parvati Shallow keeps the piece of pie for himself rather than give the whole
piece of
pie to
pie.
everybody else.
And then goes home.
And he says they're not going to vote me out because of this. And then he goes home that episode for different reasons, to be fair. But
Here's my impression of if it was Adam Sandler instead of Jeff hosting the show. That was $1 million piece of pie.
That was a pretty good Sandler.
Like that?
yeah, that was not bad.
You should.
I cannot wait for us to get to South Pacific.
Oh.
The Jack and Jill challenge. You know who we might be able to get that episode?
I think we might be able to get 2 Adam Sandlers.
Friend of the podcast, Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler doing an offensive impression of a woman. Let's go.
Both of you might have something for that day. We get both Jack and Jill.
You want to be Jack or to shout be Jill?
No, we're getting we're
no,
getting
we're-
Adam Sandler,
we're
but twice.
I think that's within our reach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so any other... the thing we said before break, we just don't talk about it. But I think we should. Because in
Do
that
it.
challenge where they're pulling the coconuts,
Oh,
right?
yeah, they're all like God's on their side.
Yeah, Natalie, they form a prayer circle. They bless Brett the Threat's hands, and then they lose that challenge. So
This is like a YouTube video with a enticing thumbnail. It's like proof that God's not real.
we here at Goats and Gamebots thought that was the funniest thing.
It was so because before the challenge, they're showing Brett and Natalie kind of bonding over like the
Their
Bible
faith.
and their faith and stuff, and it's a very sweet moment. And then they go to the challenge, and Natalie picks Brett and then
Dr. Mickhead.
Dr. Mickhead, right? And the challenge, and they're like praying beforehand, right?
Because it's Brett and Natalie, and they're just like, God, give us strength or whatever. They're saying.
Right.
And Mick is just kind of standing there awkwardly, and he's like,
Sure.
oh, I feel like maybe I should get in on
He
this.
puts his hand in the
So
mix.
he gets his hand
Yeah,
in there,
yeah.
but like uncomfortably late.
Basically,
So you're like, is Mick on board
Right.
with this, or is it just...
Well,
and this is
Dr. Mickhead's probably on the side of like, when he saves a person and they're like, oh, thank God. And he's like,
It was
actually it was my doctorate.
but okay.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting situation because it's not to say that it's clear that Russell has mentioned stuff about God and Shambo also, but it's it's a weird thing happening over there. Russell's not really sure what's going on. He thinks maybe there's like some sort of alliance happening. So that was already a risky start to it. But so the challenge begins. They start pulling stuff. Russell's team losing heavily.
It's feeling
And
like God is on
God
their
is
side.
on
It's
their
feeling
side,
like
yeah.
God's on their side, and
absolutely.
like proof that God is real. And then, unfortunately, the
lose
coconuts start
epically.
to just fall
Tumble down
like
all
crazy.
over. Yeah.
And if that's not the perfect example to show you that there's no God, then I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, I think too.
There's no disputing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Shambo on the other side also has her moment of God gives me prophetic dreams. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where
The
we get like a really weird,
A wonderfully edited sequence.
Yeah.
like a prophetic vision about the chickens and
Yeah.
Dave and all that stuff. And so Shambo also gets kind of like defensive in a way because whenever things go right for them, she's pointing at the sky too. It's just this weird God off.
Yeah, right.
You're
God
trying to
standoff.
see like who God
does
is.
God like more?
And we could not stop laughing about it and talking about it.
Yeah, it's obviously we're being hyperbolic.
Yeah,
right?
it's Survivor.
But how
Silly.
that is the kind of thing that YouTube videos will do. It's like that Curtis Connor thing. He had a video where he was like talking about this streamer, and I forget exactly what happened, but the streamer's like very pro God. He like just goes into things, and he does this whole thing of like proof that God is real, and it's this very like insignificant little thing that happens. But he's like, that's the thumbnail. Is like proof that God is real, you know. And this is a perfect. Yeah, God's not real because a bunch of coconuts fell.
Because I 360 no-scope someone in Fortnite. It's just, like, there's such a performance in that challenge, and it's hilarious.
You know what this calls for?
We're from all different faiths and backgrounds here. Oh, also, yeah.
Jesus Christ! We love you, God!
That's
we
the one
love
you're
you,
talking
God.
about.
Yeah, you knew exactly what I wanted.
Wait, it wasn't this one.
So much for my dreams.
That one's always welcome.
Yeah. We were winning the challenge, and then... Yeah, we should do dramatic reenactments just with all our the buttons on here. Is God real?
I don't know.
I
I don't know. Hard to say.
don't know. Does anyone know? I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so we'll finish out this outplay section with a bit of a challenge here. And you mentioned it yourself. It is a season of a lot of firsts. And not like there's first idol finds without clues, first getting kicked out of a challenge, first oolonging and then pagonging. Like, now, some of these firsts are not great. But I would like to focus some of the firsts that maybe don't get talked about a lot. So we're going to do a challenge that's called Obscure Firsts.
Okay.
It's all stuff that's happened this season, and I want you guys to tell me when it first happened. What season?
Okay.
It
So
was-
we're doing a challenge that references Survivor?
Yeah, it's a Survivor challenge.
Yeah.
This is, you got to prove your game bodiness.
No,
Okay.
no giant
Now-
monkey.
No
Now,
giant
because
monkey,
of
no
this-
coaches from films.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Damn.
I did consider some hat challenges.
Yeah.
I considered a challenge where it's, I tell you something that happened and you tell me if that's proof whether or not God does exist or does not. But I decided this is maybe, a fun
Okay.
one.
I can get with it. Just
and-
this one time,
Yeah,
though.
and since these are obscure, you guys can choose to work together if you would like.
Okay.
But that does mean that, if you know the answer and you want the for sure fire token and you think the other person isn't game body enough to know the answer, you can keep it to yourself and then reveal it on the count of 3.
Okay.
So you can choose to work together, pool your information, or you can play it separately. It's up to you.
All right, boss.
Okay. So this one, I'm pretty sure we're going to start off with an easy one. Pretty sure you guys will both get this one. Dr. Mickhead this season was a bit of a dimwit and also a doctor. Who was the first idiot doctor featured on Survivor?
Is it?
3, 2, 1, right?
Yeah. Do you guys both have an answer, you
yeah.
think?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Johnny Pots and Pants.
Dr. ABC. He did
Oh,
the
Dr.
that's
ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Sean with
Yeah.
the nipple ring.
Dr. Sean Caniff. Yeah, Nipple Ring Sean. Season 1, Borneo.
All I could think about was Dr. Johnny Pots and Pants.
Completely blinded by the pots and pans. That's
blinded by the
understandable.
pots and pans.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Understandable. And we talk so much about Johnny Pots and Pans, but it was Nipple Ring Sean.
Nipple ring Sean. Part of me was trying to think, like, no one stood out to me. I was like, that's season 4, right? Who else could be before that?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Nipple ring
ABC.
Sean. Don't
Yeah.
paint over the Mona
That's
Lisa.
good. I love you didn't know his name, but you knew ABC.
I was pretty sure it was Sean.
That's good. Good game body move right there. And also it's worth mentioning, these are to the best of my knowledge.
Oh.
I am merely a
Didn't do any
man.
number crunches.
I'm mortal.
I am mortal as well. So if you can prove me wrong, I'll give you the point.
All right.
Double fire
If you
tokens.
argue for something more. Yeah, I think you probably should then. Okay,
we
so again, we talked about the salty jury this season that potentially cost the rightful winner of this season the win. What was the first salty jury to do the same?
Do you know?
Again, you guys can pool if you'd like, or you can play
I
it
know.
separate.
I don't.
I'm going to keep it to myself.
Yeah.
Gonna keep it to yourself?
Understandable.
Yeah.
Anything? Where's your head at, Andrew? Talk me through it.
I would say that it's Miss Susan from season 1, but I'm wrong.
Okay, it's salty jury costing the rightful winner the game.
Yeah.
That is the whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
My
All right.
memory's real bad.
3, 2, 1.
Survivor All-Stars.
Yeah, it's Survivor
Oh,
All-Stars. Boston Rob. Yeah.
Lil B Rob. Yeah, that
In
checks
my
out.
opinion, again, there's an element of subjectiveness in this, but so far we're tied. Andrew got a fire token.
Yeah.
Tack got a fire token.
That's right. Attack.
Tack
That's my
the
nickname.
toe.
Attack toe.
Once again, this season, we had Mr. Poverty Shallow, John Fincher, pardon me. But who was our first rocket scientist to be on Survivor?
Oh.
This one's obscure.
What are you thinking?
I feel like
Where's your
it's
head at?
like early too. And I feel like it was somebody who didn't do that well for a
Yeah.
rocket scientist, but I can't remember who it is. Was it that blonde girl from Africa?
I feel like it was a girl.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I couldn't. Should we just do a random name? Let's just
Yeah.
shout a random name.
You can guess the season. That's another thing. Like, when
Okay.
did it first happen?
I
Doesn't
wanna
have to
say
be
Africa.
the name of the person.
Yeah, I'd go with Africa.
Okay, I think the person you're thinking of is Kelly, right?
so,
the
yeah.
one. I don't think she's a rocket scientist, at least to my knowledge. If you want a number crunch, that
I mean,
feel free.
I have a very bad memory when it comes to specific things like this.
Yeah.
So.
The thing I can remember is Alex from the Amazon.
Oh, she was like
Or
a
not Alex,
zoo person?
Dave.
No.
Oh, she was a zoo person.
Was that their thing?
Yeah.
Zookeeper?
I knew she had
Yeah.
some sort of like
Okay.
interesting little. Okay. Well,
Yes, the one I wrote down,
Yeah,
Dave
Alex.
Johnson from the Amazon. He was the,
Oh, duh.
the merge
yeah.
boo.
Yeah.
He
Because
was
he
a
was
rocket
an
scientist.
astronaut.
Yeah, and he was just kind of.
No. You're thinking of Dan Fuego
Oh
from,
my
from
God.
Panama.
There's so many people.
There's so many people on this fucking
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, we're talking Dave, who's like the frat broy dude from the Amazon.
Because he didn't seem like the sort of guy you would peg to be like a rocket scientist. Yeah.
Yeah, and he completely butchered the puzzle on that challenge.
Yeah, that's
so-
what it was. Man, what a show.
Yeah, right?
show.
Long history. We've got 2 more for sure.
Okay.
And then we've got one that I would consider a bonus one because
Whoa.
it's a bit more subjective based off my own thoughts and feelings. So, again, I'll give you a bonus one for it. But first, Laura, in this season, used Christianity to judge people. Who was the first person to do so?
To use Christianity to judge someone?
Judge their fellow castaways.
Oh, that I don't fucking know. Was it that lady who was like,
What?
I'm not that... Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Are you guys
cut
working
off like
together?
that.
You working
Are we gonna wait till the count of 3 before we can ask you who it is? What's the deal here? Because if he's right, then I didn't get a chance to say my answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you you're right until I do the
Okay.
countdown.
Okay.
So you can feel free to question it out
Who
loud.
are you gonna say?
I was going to say that lady from, maybe even Thailand, that was like, I'm not that Christian. She was a Christian talk show host, like a radio host, who was like, I'm not that Christian.
Are you talking about Leslie from Survivor China?
Yeah.
That's-
Where she left
Season
the
15.
religious ceremony
Yeah,
when it
Sister
was
Christian.
not a religious
Sister
ceremony.
Christian.
That, the thing to consider, time-wise, that's a big difference. We're looking for firsts.
Oh.
Survivor China is season 15. I'm not,
They're all the same.
It could be that, but
Yeah, I
Something to
have
consider.
a guess, but I don't think it's right.
Well, that's going to be, what's your guess? Unless you,
Mine is from season 2.
what is it?
Scoopin'.
okay. Do you guys want to guess, or do you want to?
Yeah, I'll stick to my China lady.
Who is it? Fuck.
Let me know when you're ready, Zach.
Is it Sean from Marquesas?
I'm gonna count
Fuck!
down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Damn it.
You gotta lock in an answer. Let me know you've locked it in, and then we're gonna count.
All right, I locked it in.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Scoopin'.
Okay, so you said Dr. Sean, right?
No, Sean from
You said John.
Marquesas. Is that his name? Wait, Sean?
Oh, you mean the
Homie
general? Is that who
Pappy?
you're thinking of? Oh, Pappy?
Pappy's buddy Sean?
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Oh, so well, that's not the
And
answer.
you said who?
Scoopin'.
I would say it's Dirk Bean. Do you remember Dirk? Dirk's shirts from season 1, Borneo?
Oh, yeah.
The tall guy.
He got voted out because he
South
was
Dakota.
like way too into faith.
Got it.
Like, he was
I
reading his Bible.
forgot
and all
about
shit.
that.
Yeah, right?
See, I just remembered him being tall
It's obscure.
and from South Dakota.
Yeah.
Shit.
That's why it's obscure firsts, right? These firsts
Yeah.
are hella obscure.
I was just trying to think of really that's who I'm thinking though is Sean, right, from Marquesas? Is his
yeah,
name Sean?
Vesepia's.
Giuseppe's homie.
Yeah.
Him and Pappy were best buds.
Yeah.
He was really religious, but I don't know if he ever used it to like judge anyone.
Yeah. That's more because he got, and that's, I guess, a subjective thing too. But
I
he
know.
got voted out for being too into his faith, so I consider that to be
Yeah.
kind of in that one.
For sure.
Okay. Last
challenge.
one in the objective,
Yep.
and then we'll go to the subjective one. So in this season, Shambo accidentally let loose the chickens.
Yep.
Who's the first person to do so?
Yikes, jeez.
Oh my god.
There's so many chickens.
And I feel like they're all let loose all the time.
And again, it's if you can think of an example that's earlier than the one I'm thinking of, you're probably more correct than I am.
I don't know the person, but I think I know the season.
Okay, that
That's
works.
the best I can do.
I, quite frankly, don't know either. So
Okay.
please go ahead.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Is it Palau?
Who are you thinking of?
I feel all I can remember is Bobby John snapping a neck. Did that happen?
Maybe
Or was that JT?
the
it all
one I'm
blends
thinking
together.
of is Cook
Right.
Islands, Flicka.
Oh,
the very
yeah,
first
yeah.
episode,
Oh,
Penner
yeah.
said, "I can forgive her, but
That's
I
right.
don't have to because she fucked with my chickens."
Oh,
Yeah.
you're correct. You're correct.
So that's my belief. If again,
No, I didn't see. Mine was just like a suspicion. I don't have any like actual memory of it, but I feel like I
And-
thought Bobby John caught a chicken.
I think he did, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it might have just been a wild chicken.
Yeah, might have been a wild chicken.
yeah. And once again, if anybody in the Goof Troop can prove me wrong,
Yeah.
let us know. Blow
We'll
up
give
our
you a
social
fire
media.
token.
Yeah, we'll give you a fire token. And then you can use that and we'll compliment you on air.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So if anyone in the audience can prove me wrong, get a fire
Free
token.
compliment. Yeah.
Yeah. Hit us up on social media. And then last one again, bit more subjective, but in this season, Danger Dave said making love is a sport. Who is the first person who makes love as a sport? Andrew's got it.
I
You
also
got somebody
have
in
it.
mind? 3, 2, 1.
Terry Dietz.
It's Terry
Let's
Dietz!
fucking go. Pipe that shouting.
I'm so glad you guys both got that one. All right.
Iconic moment, specifically for the Goats and Gamebots oral history.
Yeah, of course. That's how you guys knew.
Yeah.
So actually, I got more fire tokens than you guys. It was a tough challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean,
am.
there's still or was that the bonus?
That was the bonus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because again,
well,
it's subjective.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're right.
If you could make an argument, maybe that's how we
Knowingly.
do it in the future. If you could make an argument that somebody else fucks,
No, it was
you
Terry
get the fire
Dietz.
token. Yeah. Okay,
Muted
so
Terry Dietz.
I'm up to 22 fire tokens. Andrew's up to 24, and the TAC is at 41.
Wow.
Stands strong as the
Shit.
richest Goat and Gamebot.
Yeah, I gotta start thinking of things.
Creative uses for him. You
Yeah.
can buy a shit ton of seasons with that. All right.
I feel like we need to get through Survivor before I make us jump into any more bonuses.
We're still hella behind on our Mission Impossible mission.
You're telling me.
Yeah. We might have to just refund those because you're not getting the thing that you ordered.
True.
8 to 10 weeks expected delivery. Okay. We are going to take another break. We're going to come back, talk about Outlast with our Walk of Shame and a bit of a winner/loser review. Stay tuned. This season of Survivor is brought to you by Mr. Parvati Shallow, proving that just because you're a rocket scientist doesn't mean you're smart. Welcome back.
What's that one song? Just because you're a rocket scientist, that don't impress me much.
That's Shania Twain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Don't
that
impress
song.
me much.
Just don't impress me much.
I should have looked it up, but John Fincher on Rob Has a Podcast, he mentioned that Jeff Probst just rips him to shreds in his like precast or
Good.
pre-game assessment of him, like unreasonably.
Jeff just had it out for him for no reason.
Yeah. I love that, we're starting to get to a point where Jeff picks definite favorites, and I don't think he ever liked
not
John
one of them.
Fincher, which is funny that he married, his favorite person ever, arguably, aside from Boston Rob.
Yeah, true.
Like Parvati's a close second.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome back. We are now in the Outlast section of Survivor Samoa, and we always like to kick this section off with our Walk of Shame.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and once again, we've got a lot of stars. Got a lot of, not a lot of stars. Got a couple stars.
Stinkers versus star.
We've honestly, singular star versus, and even then, he's a stinker.
He is a stinker.
Yeah, we got a lot of stinkers to get through, so without further ado, let's jump into our Walk of Shame.
I might need some of those pictures if I'm being honest with you.
Take a peek, baby. Alrighty. First voted out on day 3, we've got Marissa Callahan.
Mary Saw.
Oh yeah, Mary's.
Too smart for her own good.
Yeah, should
Yeah.
have
Got in
trusted
for
Russell.
Yeah.
Should have worked with Russell.
R.I.P.
Evacuated on day 5, Mike Barassi.
Gone too soon.
R.I.P.
Didn't get enough Barassi.
Yeah, we need more. Bring Barassi back.
Second voted out on day 6, Betsy Bolin.
Also too smart for
Yeah, too smart for Russell.
Foa.
ACAB.
Yeah.
The third voted out day 8, Ben Browning.
Not
that dude.
voted out soon enough.
Yeah. Racist ass piece of shit.
Get fucked, dude.
Outlaw, baby.
Outlaw, baby.
Go fuck yourself.
Fourth voted out on day 11, Yasmin Giles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry Ben
Yeah.
was racist towards you.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that at the reunion they made you apologize to him. That was bullshit.
Yeah, some real bullshit.
I'm sorry you referred to the other tribe as taking candies from a baby
yeah, probably.
when you went to visit them.
Not a
Yeah,
good
also
look
that was
either.
not a great move.
Yeah.
That was a bad one.
On this one I'm learning something too, and I'll say it under here. Fifth voted out on day 14 from Maple Grove, Minnesota, Ashley Trainer.
Yeah.
Is Maple Grove
I like Ashley.
close to where you grew up?
It's around.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like Ashley.
Yeah, she was fine.
Yeah.
I'm from Minnesota. Evacuated on day 15, Russell Swan.
Gone too soon.
Yeah.
Chief.
Yeah.
Chief.
Real scary. Scary way to go.
Yeah, you scared Probst, and I don't like that.
Catch you on the
Scary.
flip
I
side.
can't
buddy.
believe they left you on that beach for a whole day before they came back to get you, and you hate to see it. Sixth voted out on day 18, Liz Kim.
Yeah.
All right,
Shot.
moving on.
She had good intentions.
Yeah.
She wanted to play the game.
She
but,
worked her ass off in that one challenge, the
Yeah.
coconut challenge.
honestly, if she doesn't go, Natalie goes, which
Mm.
would have changed the whole season.
Yeah.
And we are now in the merge. Seventh voted out, first jury member, day 21.
Skip.
Yeah, we're skipping. Eric. Boo.
Yeah, not a fan.
I'm not gonna say his last name. Fuck that guy. Eighth voted out, second jury member, day 24, Kelly Sharbaugh.
An epic way to go for not that memorable person.
Yeah, didn't do a lot, but was
She
cool.
was the-
I liked her.
Your
The
blind
John
side was
flip,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also
No, that was the idol play.
that was the idol play from Russell.
Yeah. Very cool.
The next one's the John flip. Ninth voted out, third jury member, Laura Moray.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Yeah, your daughter's
Come
great
back
at
with your
Survivor.
kid.
Yeah, right. See you when your daughter's around. Also, a situation where we almost lost the winner, Natalie. Right?
Yeah, true.
5-5. 10th voted out. Fourth jury member on day 30, Mr. Parvati Shallow.
Good luck living in your wife's shadow forever.
I mean, I think he's fully content with it personally.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you be?
They've
Yeah,
got a
no, I
beautiful
would be.
baby.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. He just does rocket science and that's it.
Hope that pie was worth it, brother.
11th voted out, fifth jury member on day 31, Doctor of Love, Danger Dave Ball.
Danger.
Damn.
That
I love
bocce
Dave.
throw.
Oh, yeah, legendary.
Danger.
Arguably my favorite character this season. 12th voted out, sixth jury member on day 33, Monica Padilla.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty.
Babe, straight
Babe.
up. And also, I guess, pretty good at Survivor. Enough to get called back. 13th voted out. 7th jury member, Shambo Waters. I didn't know that was her last name.
Very fun.
Yeah, a bright spot.
Yeah, an all-around good time to watch.
Fun character.
Yeah.
Mullet.
Mullet.
Magog?
14th voted out, our 8th jury member on day 37, Jason Robinson from Chicago, Illinois.
Fuck yeah, represent.
Let's fucking whoop.
That Jason's my favorite.
He loves Jason.
Jason's the boy.
Certainly a bright spot. 15th voted out, 9th jury member, day 38, Brett the Threat.
My favorite, Brett the Threat.
That's the guy.
Making t-shirts in the sky.
I would love to propose a t-shirt design, Brett the Threat.
Ghosts Game Bots collaboration.
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
that's some sick merch.
He's also Brett the Puzzle Threat. Can do puzzles.
Okay. And that's our walk of shame.
That's
right?
our walk of shame, baby. Thank you for coming.
Such an abrupt end always. Love it. Yeah, a cast filled with... no one can argue this cast is filled with people.
Many people are saying this.
I wouldn't call them great characters, but here we are. So
It was a season of Survivor.
yeah,
No one can dispute that.
undeniably.
No one can change that.
All right, so now that we've gotten down to our final three, Mick, Russell, Natalie, how do we feel about our winners and our losers here? Is there? Let me ask this: is there any universe in which Mick wins this season?
No.
No.
He was always going to be a goat.
Will he win 2 immunities or just 1? I can't remember if he won. I think he won 2.
I'm not
towards
sure.
the end.
Yeah.
Regardless,
he definitely won.
He won at least 1. So you can't say he did nothing. But if you take that immunity win away from him,
You can say he did nothing.
You can say he did nothing. He is so forgettable, and he seems like a nice guy, and he's very good looking. And
I would
he's
love to grab a
doctor,
beer
but-
with Dr. Mickhead.
Yeah,
but-
he's boring as shit.
Yeah. He's very, what was it, feckless?
Feckless.
Is that the word?
Shambo's
Yeah.
description of his gameplay.
And, yeah.
Maybe if if fucking Russell
Yeah.
took Dr. Mickhead and Shambo,
Galoo would want to
maybe
vote for
in
Mickhead
some
over
weird
him.
way Mickhead wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I can
Because
see
they
that.
don't like Shambo and they don't want to vote for
Maybe.
Russell.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, we'll see. Because I remember when Jeff asked that hypothetical, Mick was one of the votes for Russell that he needed. And because he beats Jason somehow. I can't see him beating Jason and not beating Mick.
Yeah.
So no universe for me, at least.
Yeah, I'm not sure there is. It's a stretch that Mick can ever win this game. But then again, I mean, like, if you don't know the outcome of this season, some would say it's a stretch to believe that Natalie would.
Yeah.
So
true.
I think, honestly...
You never had a suspicion.
When we're talking about it, it's like the jury is so hell-bent on not giving their vote to Russell. They're looking for anything. And I think there are probably a few scenarios in which they land on Mick just because he has the same underdog story but doesn't have the blood on his hands.
Yeah.
Because, I mean... This is a great time to talk about why do you think Russell lost?
I just don't think any of them liked him.
Yeah.
They just all were like, you are the person who is personally responsible for me not being here. Because he's the only person noticeably playing. Like, Natalie's playing to an extent of like, I see this guy's making all these moves.
Yeah.
I'm going to let him do it. That's playing.
Yeah.
But Russell is like, here are my cards. I'm playing.
I don't think Russell's gameplay mixes very well with this superiority that
people
Galoo
that were
has.
there.
Yeah.
Like, Galoo, again, was looking for a reason to... I think they would vote for anybody that was Galoo up there, not just Brett. I mean, think about, like, Brett didn't do that much aside from, like, win a bunch at the end.
Yeah.
He was... like an unknown up until the last couple immunities.
Yeah.
So I think that Galoo was just looking to satisfy their own ego rather than reward the gameplay. But I also understand feeling burnt by the dude that's out there, like the gremlin that is like gleefully burning your socks and whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah. And my take on this is basically what Andrew says. But I think a lot of it has to do with it being Russell and who he is. I think if Natalie plays the exact same game as Russell, even down to almost like being a little bit showboaty, I think she wins.
Yeah.
Still, because Russell, there's no denying he still gets votes. He gets like 2 votes. There's no denying that he played an incredible game, a game worth winning. But the thing that lost him the $1 million, and more importantly to him, the title of Sole Survivor, was he just didn't do it with grace. You know, he sort of has this very arrogant. I don't even know how to explain it necessarily.
It's like the God created me to win this game kind of attitude.
Yeah, it's there's like no modesty to how when he would take people out, he was very braggy about it. And I think just on top of him already being like this millionaire and just like this kind of older guy who seems really entitled, just rubbed people the wrong way. And, you know, again, like Natalie, who's just a lot younger and I think sort of shows a little bit more respect for people, could have done the same things exactly and come out with more respect.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she did nothing and still won. But, you know, I think that's the big reason why Russell lost is he just sort of didn't respect anyone around him.
Yeah. And I don't want to completely discredit Natalie because it's more of a passive game and that's hard to point to your resume moves. Again, I do think I give her a lot of credit for recognizing that the people that were going out on Foa early were the people that spoke their mind and spoke up against Russell. And so she's like, well, I'm not going to do that shit. Like, I'm going to attach myself to the hip with this guy, allow him to take the bullets while I develop the personal relationships with people. Because beyond playing a good game, I think people on the jury want their season to go to like the winner is the representative of the season, and so you want it to be somebody that on a basic layer you can like even people like Tony who play ridiculous games, like there's an element that you still like it. Like you're like, okay, I can respect the gameplay of it. It was nothing personal. It was gameplay. Russell made it personal. Yeah. He dug salt in the wound, and so people didn't like him on a personal level, and they're never going to reward a season to people like that. Yeah. So the first time I watched this, I was completely outraged at the fact that Russell didn't win. And again, it's the first Russell season. It's the first thing like this you've seen. When you see the different sides of Russell and, you know, his ego gets even bigger than it is this season, you start to really understand why Natalie won this one.
This is the origin story of him. And it's sort of...
And it's not a hero's origin story.
It's not a hero. It's certainly a villain's.
And also keep in mind, like, this is an edit. Like, the edit revolves around Russell.
Because the most entertaining thing
he was
happens.
The main character.
The Survivor community, including Jeff Probst, is like incredibly dismissive of Natalie as a person, and like even the edit reflects that. Like had they edited her maybe a little bit better or to show a different side of her, then maybe people would not feel as like the outcome of this season is like out of left field or as unearned as it is. Like that's something to keep in mind too.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about this watch through again for me. Like this is a one of the seasons I hadn't seen more than once, so it's always fun to rewatch a season knowing the winner, so you can sort of watch the edit. And this is an interesting case where she does not get a winner's edit up until the very, very end.
She doesn't have a confessional until like merge.
They purple Kelly her for a long time.
Yeah,
you know, like she doesn't say shit until like, even in the merge. Like the most exciting thing she does is kill a rat. You know, like and I think one of the very few like moments we got a winner edit for her was when Russell was saying, like to her face, she's like, "You like they're gonna vote for you over me? There's no way she votes. You're gonna beat me on votes, you know?" And like, you know, that's some foreshadowing because obviously she does. But you know, and it's not to take anything away from Natalie because we are very. I think we all agree that no matter who wins Survivor, in some respect, deserves it.
Absolutely,
and she does. But when you wanna watch a compelling season of Survivor, you want to watch someone who dominates the game and does like all the right things, you know, like finding idols without clues and, you know, making all these crazy moves, playing the idols at the right time. And you want to see them win. Yeah. And when they don't, it sort of feels like a waste of time. And that's not to say this season's not worth watching ever, but it certainly is anticlimactic in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And also I looked it up. Natalie's first confessional is episode 4, and it's when she fucks up the bocce ball challenge. and she's just like, wow, I messed up.
Oops.
Yeah. So again, edit wise, you got to look at all that, and I think too, yeah, like it's a more of a passive game for sure, but so is Sandra's. And Sandra's edited in a completely different light, and so we can empathize and we can root for, and yeah, there's just this anti-Natalie bias that makes it hard to feel satisfied with the outcome, even acknowledging she deserves on some level to win.
Yeah.
It's just the edit revolves around Russell, and I guess the season did to an extent. It's just
because they got to get those ratings, and it's hard to get ratings around someone who's not really doing a whole lot,
or even just a good person.
Yeah,
like the good people this season, again, they don't stand out. They seem kind of lackluster in comparison to a guy that's out there running around in the woods finding idols without clues. Like I love Jason. Jason's the boy, but also he's like kind of weak by comparison because he's just not out there playing the game that way.
Yeah, and Russell even wins challenges. Like he's not a total physical threat, but like he's got a very well-rounded game, and his just big downfall is that he's kind of a douche.
Yeah. What is his sign?
Oh, you want to know Russell's?
Yes, I gotta know.
He's a Libra.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, see,
isn't that all about balance? Like Aris is a Libra, right? I cannot think of two more different people.
Yeah. Again, that's why it's so important, the whole chart. We're so much more than our suns. But I always hear people, and I don't know why, but I hear people talking shit about Libra men all the time. And this is a good example.
Libra moon?
Libra men.
Men.
No, Libra moons. We love Libra moons.
I was going to say, I have a Libra moon. I was about to go to bed.
Love people with Libra moons. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I personally, a lot of the Libra guys I know are fine, but then you get Russells and Arises, and you can say the same. Like, I'm a Gemini, man. I'm amazing. You guys love me. You're obsessed with me. But then you also have people like Donald Trump and Kanye West who are Gemini men, and
it's peaks and pits.
Exactly. There's a spectrum.
Yeah,
there's a spectrum for sure.
Well, I wonder if that is part of the reason why Russell feels so I don't know. Like personal, like he's like rubbing salt in the wound, is because you get the idea he recognizes good and bad. He's a smart dude.
Definitely.
He recognizes like he can be a good. I get the feeling he's probably a good people to the people that are actually in his life.
Yeah.
And has like some form of value, but when it comes to the game, he just is like. It's the game. I'm going to do anything.
And also another thing with
he knows what bad is and he chooses it actively.
Exactly. And that's what they say a lot about air signs too, is they have like this ability to sort of not really have emotions fully dominate their decisions and stuff. Yeah. Not to say that, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libras don't have emotions, but you can see he's very good at being able to keep his emotions out of it. Not to say he seemed very sad at the reunion because he probably thought he should have won. Yeah. But I think he was able to do a lot of the things he could do because he is able to sort of put the emotions on the back burner and focus on this is what I need to do, which might have been his downfall. Yeah,
I feel you.
Unfortunately.
What is Natalie's sign?
This is a fun one. She is a Taurus on the cusp of Aries. Her birthday was actually 3 days ago.
Oh, wow. Happy belated.
Happy belated, Natalie White.
Yeah.
So I did a little research. Let's see what this means. Of course, we had Parvati, who was a cusper. She's a Virgo Libra. But this one is, again, I don't know a lot about the cusp shit, but this is called the cusp of power.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. And,
that sounds like a Survivor advantage.
On the cusp.
You would think. I was trying to relate a lot of this to Natalie, but it's hard to. But they say they're authoritative, resilient, and dedicated to passion and goals. And that's because there's 2 planets that are ruled by these two. Aries is ruled by Mars. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Mars is the planet of motive and drive, and Venus is the power of persuasion. With those two combined, these cusps tend to be very successful. And you could say that Natalie's pretty successful.
She won
Survivor. Am I right? Mm-hmm. She's a millionaire. So
yeah. Wow.
Astrology's real.
This proves it definitively.
Yeah.
You cannot dispute this.
Yeah. So
there's no God and astrology's real.
I was going to say, sum up the whole episode right there.
That's the Who would listen to that?
Yeah.
God's not real. Astrology is.
All right.
Goats and game
That is our Zach's Astrology Corner and our winner-loser review. And there's nothing left to do but the Babe Hunk debates and our season review. So let's start with the Babe Hunk debates, first and foremost.
Got nothing for you. Grab your stuff, head back to camp.
Nope.
That's the wrong. Wouldn't be Goats and Game Bots without a wrong sound play.
Every time.
Whoopsie.
Oopsie.
Time to get dirty.
Auga.
Ready to get to today's challenge?
Yes,
All
Jeffy.
right. Yeah. All right. So
Hated that.
let's start with the Babes. Who do we think is the Babe this season?
I mean, as you guys know, I think Natalie is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to go with Natalie.
I'll
She won.
Yeah, I'll say of the blonde girl alliance, I find Ashley more attractive, and she's from Minnesota. I mean, think about that, right? Throwing it to a local native.
I love that band.
I would also say Monica's attractive. Kelly. I think there's some Shambo.
Sure. If we're going on
Yeah.
pure
Oh, you're
looks,
feeling the Shambo, Andrew.
All right, now we're talking.
He likes a mullet. What can
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Natalie.
Natalie, you
She's
think?
very pretty, and then she's also a winner.
Yeah,
She was
because
smart enough.
Killed a rat.
Yeah,
right, killed a
that
rat.
Woo.
Here it goes
That
in
did
Game
it
Bots.
for
We're
you?
not all about looks, There's got to be a little bit more to it. And winning Survivor seems like a pretty good addition
Yeah.
Okay.
to being hot.
All right, so we'll go ahead. We'll give it to Natalie.
The tribe has spoken.
A much more prestigious award than Survivor.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
honestly, the Babe.
Babe of the season.
Yeah,
Let's get her a plaque and send it to her.
I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
Oh,
yeah. Who do we have for the hunks?
First and foremost, I gotta say Brett the Threat.
Brett the Threat.
Yeah, I want to
Interesting.
give an honorable mention to Jason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
Jason
an
and
absolute
Good
hunk.
Russell.
Jason's hunky.
And I mean,
Even
love
Mick
him
is
or hate
hunky.
him, yeah, Mick's pretty hunky. But like John Fincher, tall, dark, handsome,
Yeah.
rocket
I
scientist.
always thought he was kind of weird looking.
I think he looks kind of like Ryan Reynolds. I can see
Yeah,
what Parvati
I mean,
sees in him.
That's all I need to say is if Parvati finds him attractive, he's got to be attractive. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't dispute
What
that.
are we to? We're not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
authority
we
on
that's
down
what
to
I'm
attractive.
saying.
Yeah.
We're just some dudes.
Yeah.
But my vote would be as well for Brett the Threat.
Brett the Threat. Interesting.
That
Yeah,
smile.
See, I-
Disney Channel star.
I would have locked in Parvati, Mr. Parvati Shallow.
No.
Really? Or Danger Dave.
Danger Dave, I would like to
Danger
give.
Dave is an oddball
honorable
choice.
mention.
And
Yeah.
making love is a sport. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
Hard to
You know
dispute.
he'd treat you right.
Yeah, that is true. I would really give it for Danger Dave.
So you guys are thinking Brett the Threat? Can't be convinced
Threat. He's
otherwise.
the threat,
Okay,
baby.
All right. Brett the
Mr.
Threat.
Threat.
You are the hunk of Survivor Smoke.
The tribe has spoken.
Brett the Threat.
Please call me
All
Mr.
right.
Threat.
Please, Mr.
Mr.
Threat,
Threat
was
is my father. You can call me Brett.
Call me Brett the.
Brett. All right. So that's our Babe Hunk debates.
Yeah.
Do we have any final fun crunches before we jump into our season reviews?
I feel like I might have said all the really fun ones.
A surprising amount of returners this season for a season I wouldn't consider to be
right?
that good.
For real. Oh, here's a fun one. The necklace that Jeff wore this season was made by Marquesas contestant Gina Cruz.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I know, right? They must be buddies.
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah. That's a deep cut.
Well done, Jeff.
Yeah,
Keep it in the fam.
That's kind of it.
and that's all.
Yeah.
And again, 4 returners from a season.
4.
That's kind of.
Mhm.
And none
weird
of them are
sequence.
Danger Dave. A pity.
Oh, wait, 4?
I heard Shambo was supposed to come back and she declined because she doesn't want Survivor to be her life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So both Russells.
Oh, duh, Russell Swan. That's what I was leaving
Yeah,
out.
both
I forgot.
Russells, Monica and Laura.
Yeah, well, I don't know why I forgot about one of the more iconic players over Laura.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think I did the same thing earlier in the season. So
2 Russells.
okay, let's jump
Shit.
into our season reviews. And Andrew, with your coconut system, you want to go first?
Yeah, because I wrote this down and I thought about it beforehand.
Okay. What do you got? It's out of 5 coconuts, right?
Yep. Let's go with 3 out of 5 coconuts.
3 out of 5.
2.5 out of 5 coconuts.
Not put much thought into it.
Yeah. It continues to drop. Well, why this rating that you've clearly given a lot of thought to?
The tribal council sucks.
Huge.
So many of these people suck.
Yeah.
You talked about it. Natalie doesn't feel like an earned winner.
Yeah.
Not that, again, Natalie, we love you.
Yeah. I'm sure she earned it, but we didn't see it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
overall not there. Some good moments.
Mhm.
It was fun to watch glue.
The downfall.
It was fun to watch the glue come apart.
I knew that was coming.
End the episode.
Ended right there.
Yeah, I don't want to get my rating after that.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Zach, how about you on your pitchfork scale?
On my pitchfork scale out of 10, I have one album to reference, and I've been really looking forward to this since I found it.
Yeah.
I'm giving Survivor Samoa a Maladroit by Weezer.
I knew it was going to be something Weezer.
Which is, on pitchfork.com, a 5.4.
Okay.
That's fine. What, out of 10? That's like average. I'll take that.
That's not a good score, my friend. That's an F.
That's an F.
What? How does the scale work?
It's like...
Probably
out of
like a
10.
normal.
Whatever.
It's a 54%.
What do those pretentious douchebags know
See,
anyways?
that's what I'm saying. But
The shit
in this
emoji.
scenario, I love that they're burning Weezer.
Whatever.
Also, in my research, I found out they gave one of their albums a 0.4.
Which one?
Fucking, I don't remember. Wait, hold on. We need to know
Stop
this.
the whole podcast.
we
we
need
gotta
to know
know.
this.
Is
I
it
think I have 'em.
Pinkerton?
No, so actually, that's a funny thing about Weezer is Pinkerton and the Blue Album both have 10s.
Solid.
10s. That's
Is
a
that
very good rating.
score?
A 10 out of 10?
Like you don't know.
Make Believe has a
Oh,
0.4.
for some reason everybody hates that album. It slaps. I don't get it.
Well, they say after a couple of free passes, the third album from the 21st century incarnation of Weezer uses up the band's last share of nostalgia-driven goodwill.
I don't know. There's some good ones on there.
Burn!
But whatever.
Okay. But why does Survivor Samoa get a 5.4?
Yeah, I'll move on from my Weezer ranting. Survivor 5.4. I'll be honest, was gonna be a lot lower before the merge, but I think we talked about what we were watching. After the merge, it gets pretty interesting. Russell solely makes this a very interesting season to watch. Just with there go my notes. A lot of fun stuff. It's just really cool, especially if it's your first time watching through the series, to see a guy go out and find some idols without clues, and just kind of he really changes the game in a lot of ways. He's not necessarily the role model for all survivors, but the way he plays does change the game, even as immediately as the next season we go into. Without even the players seeing him play his game, him just being there and here's his villains changes a lot. So
That love of the game is infectious. It
yes,
kind of catches
exactly.
on.
So there was a lot of stuff that just happened after the merge. Obviously, the season ends a little anticlimactically, and there's just a lot of stinkers, but there was some fun stuff that I think got it a little bit over the 50% mark, in a 5.4. It could have been a lot worse. This is my final thought.
Yeah. I give it a similar rating. I give it a 65%, which is not an F, it's a D. Solid D.
You're passing.
That is Spud.
Yeah, certified spud.
Yeah. So again, the thing I'll give it is the post-merge gameplay. Like, it was incredibly boring until the merge. So that's, a lot of points docked there for like the entire first half of the season being Spud. But once it gets there, it really gets there. And it stays there for a while because Russell really does elevate the game. However, again, he's who you're following the whole season. He's like pretty much the only like standout person. Everybody else is kind of not that fun to watch by comparison. And even then, like, he's a dickhead. He is mean to people. He's constantly cutting people down. There are more dislikable people this season than there are likable people. More frequently, you are rooting against people than you are rooting for anybody. Again, and the person you're rooting for is Russell, who is still being an asshole. So, yeah, definitely docking points there. And I would say in most ways it's probably completely mid, just because it's sandwiched between two classic seasons.
Yeah.
When you're sandwiched between Tocantins, which is like one of the best first-time casts, plus Heroes vs. Villains, which is like objectively one of the best seasons ever, this season never stood much of a chance, in my opinion. It does have some stuff going for it. I liked it more than I was expecting to.
Same, yeah.
Once we got to the merge. The first half there's no way around that. But still then, it's only a 65% Are there other movies? Do you look anything up?
Yeah, I got three for you that I think are better than a 65%.
Okay,
Classic
these are
Rotten
all...
Tomatoes.
Anchorman.
The first one?
Yeah.
65?
I think that deserves
Yeah.
better than a 65.
At least in the 70s.
Yeah.
Anchorman 2, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Disney's Dinosaur.
Oh, I saw that in theaters.
Surprisingly low.
Surprisingly low.
I had those toys, the
the grabber ones?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
hand.
Yep, very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, a movie that I know deserves more. Should be 100%,
Mm-hmm.
without a doubt. It's The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 2.
The second one, the one we've seen.
I've seen them both.
I have only seen the second one.
But boy, oh boy.
And you don't have to watch the first one.
You
to
don't
know
have to watch the first one. You just have to know there's a pair of magical pants.
That's all you got to know. I would say
Deserves better than 65%.
probably. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So overall, a pretty average mid-season of
It was
Survivor.
a season.
But we are moving right along onto Heroes vs. Villain, which again, amazing season. We've already started a little bit of it. How you feel, Andrew?
All your favorites are back.
Yeah.
You got your.
You
got
don't
your
have to
props.
sell it.
Yeah.
You've seen it. You get it.
Yeah, you know.
Get ready for the most entertaining season of Survivor yet.
Yeah, and then immediately following that episode, we're going to do our retrospective episode, which is just kind of like a fun bonanza of our top 5 so far.
A little clip show.
A little clip show, some of our highlights, some compilation type stuff, some challenges, and a Babe Hunk bracket.
Babe Hunk bracket.
We're talking about doing it, so
We're still trying to get some of the Goof Troop to contribute a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to get some Goof Troop opinions. So, yeah, stay tuned. Again, if you've got opinions, shout them out at us. Follow us on social media. Without further ado, we got nothing for you. So, grab your stuff. See you back at camp. See you next episode.
Oh, way,